Thank you, Mayor and councilors. I think we have some handouts for you. But thank you for your time today. My name is Stanton Doyle. I'm the current chair of the PAC Trust. We, as I may have mentioned last time, we presented one time before, and I didn't offer a lot of details, but the PAC has been working very hard with the PAC Trust over the last year to assess the operations, look at revenue generation, and we also engaged a team to do a capital needs assessment, and those are some of the results I'll be presenting to you today. The full assessment won't be ready until later in the fall, and it'll include organizational assessment and some more detail about what I'll show you here. But what we have now is kind of some initial details of the capital needs assessment. I feel that this, for the presentation of the PAC renovation and expansion, it reinvests in one of Tulsa's treasures, something that's demonstrated a strong economic impact and generation of sales tax. Is something that by nature brings people together and has a very strong public education component. Next slide, please. PAC has been a Tulsa treasure for nearly 40 years. It was one of the original investments in revitalizing downtown when everybody was leaving. The mayor and private citizens doubled down on downtown to create a center for the performing arts. It's through a public-private partnership, 70% voter approval of the original bond package. And what's happened now is our treasures needs a little help. We're dealing with the original mechanical, electrical, plumbing systems. They're in need of replacement desperately. It's never had a comprehensive interior update. We've done piecemeal work, and it's been 15 years since the last and only expansion of the facility. Next slide, please. In terms of economic impact, 246,000 people, that's the average annual attendance at events at the PAC. Over the last 5 years, it's been close to $45 million in gross sales and the attributable sales tax, of course. Economic impact's estimated around $150 million over the last 5 years. Those are Broadway numbers based on performing arts Broadway shows. $14 million, $14.5 million is what's estimated as additional economic impact with the addition of the new 1,200-seat theater that I'll show you here in a minute, and also a smaller theater. Next slide, please. Yes, that draws a regional audience to Tulsa. This is the one, it's an important thing because it's not like Owasso has a performing arts center. We're bringing people from across state lines to come see our Broadway presentations, see the opera, see the ballet, and the symphony. This is really a regional draw. These visitors go out, they stay at our hotels, they eat at the restaurants. The restaurants, not just in downtown, but around Tulsa, are full the nights of these big Broadway shows. There's a lot of outreach to public school students. You know, years ago it would be said that the first time a lot of kids went downtown was to go to a PAC. The PAC Trust provides subsidies for tickets, and it's the PAC Trust has participated in the Any Given Child program, Young in Art and Imagination series. So the capital needs assessment was done by this group. Sutton & Associates, cultural facilities developer, led the team with theater planners, lighting designers, construction managing company, and structural engineers. And like our lighting designers, I mean, these theater designers are some of the best in the country who looked at our facility. And we really wanted to wait to present this until we've had this kind of detail and this backup. The main users, you'll see here 16 of Tulsa's prominent performing arts groups. These are the primary users of the facility of Theater North. With these range in budget from Theater North maybe $10,000 to $20,000 a year to the ballet with $5.6 million. They employ over 120 people, part-time employees 57, and 1,700 plus volunteers. The one question in this capital needs assessment, there's a lot of outreach to the user groups and their audiences. 94% said the PAC is their preferred venue. If they're going to present, they want to be at the PAC. It's the kind of the theater of it's reputable, and it makes it for a legitimate presentation. Next, please. They identified many challenges. I mean, one thing is that the availability of the calendar for events at the PAC, it's very crowded. It's completely full during the performance season, which results in us missing acts that bring more audiences downtown. Performing spaces need to be looked at, not appropriately sized. The loading dock and back house spaces need help. There's a very limited patron experience because of the small lobby and added amenities. And of course, ADA, another key issue is the inefficient production systems that could be greatly modified and reduce the operating costs of the space. So what is being proposed are 2 venues in a new addition to the PAC to the west of the facility. It's a 1,200 seat venue for music, dance, and theater. This could accommodate better our symphony, ballet, and opera and other groups, and it could also be a prime venue for traveling acts. There's not a venue of this size downtown. And then the smaller seat venue would better serve our smaller theater groups. Next slide, please. This is an aerial view of the Tulsa Performing Arts Center. You see the Wesby addition to the west, and to the west of that is the park that's between the Hyatt and the PAC. We looked at expanding to the parking lot to the east of the facility, and we found that there was an opportunity to the west, and we've discussed it with Tulsa Parking Authority that lives below that park. And it is feasible to expand to the west an additional 50 feet into the park to accommodate this new structure. Next slide. This shows in the light blue is a new 1,200 seat theater. The light green is all the back of house space and loading dock area for new loading off of 2nd Street, and an expanded lobby that would glass front, lead out to the park, engage and activate that park, and make for a better patron experience and allow for more events. Events can happen simultaneously in both these theaters and the theaters below, bringing that many more people downtown. Here you see just basic massing. We haven't done any design on this. We spent all our time determining what the needs are for the program at the PAC and of the groups. And this shows a glass wall, which is probably more glass than you'll ever see, but it shows how it can interact with the park to the west and engage the park and create more activity between the 2 facilities. There's also, in addition, we'd be replacing the existing Westby Gallery that is a place for event rental. So I think it's something that brings activity to a park that's maybe not seeing as much as it could now. Next slide. These are examples of other recent renovations and kind of park performing arts engagement. You can see how one of the consultants called it could be a lantern for downtown. It's something that really attracts a lot of attention and engages the public in a way that the facility doesn't now, and just makes it for a very exciting place to be, and engages kind of the urban experience a little better. The next slide shows some examples of 1,200 seat theaters. These were done by the theater consultants that helped with our project. And you can see there's a number of ways to configure it, and it really does better suit some of the groups like the symphony, the opera, and the ballet for some of their events, and provides new opportunities for traveling music acts and things of that nature. Here's some more kind of showing how it would engage with the city around it. Next, please. Here's our budget. These kinds of renovations, there's new performing arts centers popping up in cities. There's performing arts centers that are being renovated. Some of these projects are to the tune of $300 million. What we're doing is we're taking Tulsa's treasure, reinvesting in it, and creating a new performing arts center that better suits the needs of the groups and the audiences today, and better serves the downtown and the Tulsa community and the regional community. It is a large budget and it's a large project, but it's something that doubles down on what was done 40 years ago, and I think helps bring a lot to downtown Tulsa.